Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the video on Finding the One. Finding the One is all about engaging someone in a meaningful conversation. And while that sounds intimidating, it really is pretty simple, and we can put it into three different ways to find the one. The first one is to invite someone to church. We see Jesus do this in the Bible, that he invites the disciples to come and see what he's doing. That there are people that are out there waiting for someone to invite them to church, and we haven't done it yet. Studies say that 8 out of 10 or 4 out of 5 people would attend a church service if someone were to just invite them. And that's why we have little invite cards all over the church, so you can throw some in your purse, throw some in your wallet or your car, that when the opportunity arises that you can invite someone to church. And we can promise that we will always have the gospel in all our services, that we will explain who Jesus is, and we'll have a call for salvation, because we know that there are new people that haven't heard or need to hear it again, what the gospel is and what the good news of Jesus Christ is. But first, we invite. The second way is to have a spiritual conversation with someone. Jesus was a master at this, that he didn't have surface level conversations with people, that he wasn't just asking them how their day was, which is an important thing to do, but he was asking them what was going on in their lives, and really he was getting down to the core of who God and who he was to them. And you're gonna have a whole nother video on spiritual conversation, so I'm not gonna go into depth on that, but there are 3 that I use all the time that help me break through the barriers of I'm here at church, I'm engaged in some kind of spiritual discipline or spiritual thought, but I'm looking for more. That's how I get below the surface and see what's going on in someone's life. The third way is to share your faith with someone. If you're a believer, you have an incredible story of God taking you from death into life. And we need to share that story with people. And we're all about equipping people with tools that can help you share that story. But one of my favorite verses is 1 Peter 2:9 that says, "But you're a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his own possessions." But listen to this, it says, "that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness and into marvelous light." All that says is to tell the goodness of God who saved you. That you may not have every intricacy of every theological point down, but you can tell the goodness of God who saved you. And that's what we're called to do. And those are the 3 ways that we can find the one. And it's so important because it keeps our eyes fixed on the things that Jesus' eyes were fixed on, of finding the person that God has in front of us that day. And this can happen for you regardless of where you're at. It might be at a church service, it might be at a church event, it might be in your neighborhood, it might be at your school, it might be at your job, but finding the one is a way that we can engage people that are in our lives or in our church with the gospel and with the person of Jesus. When I think about finding the one, I always think about a guy who was coming to young adults last summer for a little while. And he had come for a while, and he was really nice to everybody, but there was one young adult that we put all our team on task for finding the one. So everybody's going in with spiritual conversations and trying to have spiritual conversation starters. And I'd seen people engage this guy multiple times, but finally, probably after the 7th or 8th one, he said, "Man, people keep asking me, I feel like I just need to tell somebody. There's a lot going on in my life." And the brokenness started to kind of flow out, and someone was able to speak into his life the truth of the Bible and God's love to him. Now, that doesn't happen unless people have their eyes open to what the one is and looking at people the way that Jesus did. So I hope you engage in finding the one and engage in our mission at High Street.